probably couldn't be a more appropriate song, unlike the one that I've just brought you with the intro, and West Ham Till I Die, because that is exactly how I feel. The emotions as a West Ham fan is ridiculous. I know they always talk about football fans, but when there's ups, there's downs. When there's downs, there's ups. You take one step forward, you take two steps back. But we live for these moments. We live for these moments, and this moment came to us yesterday. It's the morning after the night before. Oh my word, you must be elated at the fact that West Ham won that game. You shouldn't be anything but, if I'm being brutally honest for you, because let's take ourselves back to when the fixtures were announced and everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people doubted West Ham, doubted the fact that we could at least even get any points on the board after the first 6 games. But this is the way forward. And I've written in the title there, Moyes Ball to the rescue. Listen, it's a bit of jesting. You know, it's not the best looking football. I get that. I'm fully aware of that. And I would like more of an exciting game of football. But essentially, at the end of the day, West Ham won a game against Chelsea, who have spent 1 billion quid, borderline near 1 billion quid, over the last several couple of transfer windows in comparison to West Ham. What a ridiculous amount of money they have spent. And West Ham turn up, little old West Ham turn up and do a job over them. And as David Moyes once said in a famous interview, that's what I do, I win. Well, I tell you what, hats off to him, because at one point in that first half, I did not think West Ham were going to be anywhere near winning that game. We couldn't really string the ball together, get a couple of passes in. We had lack of possession. We were given nothing to the forwards. There wasn't a huge amount of creativity, and Chelsea really dominated in the middle of the park. Essentially, though, they could not put the ball in the back of the net. They really couldn't. They really struggled. We shut up shop. Anything that really came our way, essentially, we dealt with. That's why they only got 1 goal. That's why Jackson wasn't really firing on all cylinders. The only player that could really penetrate our defence was Raheem Sterling. I thought he had a fantastic game for Chelsea. He was the only one that could get through. So plaudits have got to go out to the organisation of our team. I did the matchday live yesterday when I was watching the game, and the one thing that I can take as a positive from the whole game, including the first half where I felt like they dominated possession, was how structured we were. We were disciplined in our approach to defend. We were disciplined in the lines that we were using across the midfield. They were very, very clever. They were working in unity, working in uniformity. And that's something we don't see a lot. We don't see a lot, especially in modern day football. You've got a lot of modern coaches that go out there and say, listen, you go ahead, you be a little bit more flamboyant, you drive forward, you do this. But what you saw was a uniformed approach to defending. Honestly, go back and look at it. Go back and watch Match of the Day. Go back and look at the highlights of the game and watch when Chelsea are on the ball, in particular in the first half. Watch how you look at the back 4 and in the midfield 5. They are literally curved ever so slightly, the way that you would expect a team to work in uniformed approach. We've always known, essentially, our biggest problem was putting the ball in the back of the net and not necessarily defending. And I suppose, you know, it was a silly decision for Naif Aguerd to come out and make that tackle and get the second yellow card. But these defenders are defending for their lives. They're throwing a body on the line. They really are. They really, really are. Watch the game back again and just look at our defense. They're throwing their bodies on the line, blocking shots, intercepting opportunities from the opposition, and it's a uniformed approach. It might not be the best of looking football, but there are differences. There definitely are differences. You know, when you come out in the second half and you change things and you stop that threat, and then you start to gather the ball and you get, you get familiar with what's actually going on. You look at how the opposition are coming at you and you think, well, what am I going to do? I'm nullify that threat. So I thought Enzo Fernandez had a fantastic game in the first half. He was a little bit quieter in the second half, and I felt like that's because West Ham dealt with him. The only player we couldn't deal with in the Chelsea team today was Raheem Sterling. We really could not deal with him. That was the only player that really concerned me the whole game. That was their threat. That was their full-blown threat, and we didn't necessarily deal with him. But essentially, we've got the points over the line, and it does not matter, because if I think about over the last couple of years, and it's rinse and repeat with me when I say the following comments, but I've had the best ride as a West Ham fan in the modern era of my time. I really have. And we've won a cup from it as well. Still can't believe I get to say that. But then we're 2 games into the Premier League season when a lot doubted what West Ham were capable of doing. And bosh, we've got 4 points on the board. A very good draw away to Bournemouth, where you probably think, depending on some substitutions, we could have gone at them. We could have won the game, but equally we could have lost the game. So a point's probably a fair result. But yesterday, we got the result we needed against Chelsea. And it's a bloody brilliant result. It is a fantastic result. And I said if you are a channel member, myself and Holly did a private video for the members only. And what I said in that was, I asked the question, if West Ham get beat, is that defining for the season? Or if West Ham win, is that defining for the season? And it can contradict each other's answer. You could say, well, if you get beat, I don't think it's defining for our season. But if you beat Chelsea, it could be defining for our season. Don't underestimate what we did yesterday. It was a huge victory for West Ham. It ticked the boxes for many a player, ticked the boxes for potentially, a style of play that we might not be excited about, but we can resort to if need be. I think depending on what we do in the transfer market, we are going to try and be a little bit more flamboyant on the ball. We're seeing a little bit of resurgence in Tommy Soucek. That's 2 out of 2 in terms of good games. In my opinion, that's 2 out of 2 in good games. We saw a switch with Le Paqueta in the first half to the second half. I thought he was fantastic in the second half. I thought all the substitutes played their part, in particular Pablo Fornals. He came on and he done a job, man. He done a job. He was like a possessed kid in a sweet shop, and he was not letting anything get by him. But also he was ball carrying the ball, which was great. Alvarez closing up space, driving at the ball, driving at the opposition, getting stuck in, not scared to slide tackle, not scared to get stuck in on the ball. It did look like they were putting the frighteners in them. If you look at our team in comparison to Chelsea's team in terms of size alone, I mean, you'd be looking up to most of those players. We were units today. Yesterday, we were absolute units. I don't, for 1 second, deny the fact that the biggest test we're going to have so far this season is going to be Brighton. 1,000,000%. Look at the style of play that they play. Look at how flamboyant they are on the ball. Look at the amount of goals they score and scored and have scored, and look at the amount of goals they don't concede. They're a well-oiled unit. It's going to be interesting to see if West Ham can get any form of redemption against the Brighton. Because my word, we need it. Holy shit, we need it. A result over Brighton would be a fantastic boost for West Ham season. It would be a fantastic boost for West Ham season. Of course, I don't think playing that way, I don't think giving Brighton 70% of possession when they are a well-oiled unit is going to benefit West Ham. So we're going to take a bit more of the ball. We're going to have to take a bit more of the ball. Depends what business we're going to do. We're not going to have a Gerd, so we're going to have Mavropanos signing for the club today. Keep your eye on that. That'll be a good signing for the club, and he'll probably start at the weekend. He's had a full pre-season under his belt. But when people doubt David Moyes, he's turned up and done another job today. That's what I do. I win. And it's true. It's true. Just think. It's funny. Just think about the last 3 seasons. I don't know how you can look at it awfully negatively. I don't know how you can. Because it's a results game. I know you want to see excitement. I get that. I do as well. But it's a results game. And I tell you what, I'll take this style of play for the results if we finish high up in the league and go far in the Europa League. I'll take that. I'll snap that off your hand right now. Listen, it's just my little old opinion. You don't have to follow what I say. Let me summarize essentially what I'm saying in this video. Do I love the style of play that West Ham are playing? No. Do I like when West Ham win? Absolutely. Do I like when we win trophies? Absolutely. Do I want to see progression this year in the Premier League? Absolutely. Do I think we can do it? Yeah, I think we can. But it starts again with Brighton. That's going to be a big test for us. Let's see what happens. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment, let me know your opinion. Join Russ later on as he gives you his player ratings. And of course, if Mavropanos signs, join us for the breaking news for that. Take it easy. And of course, come on, you Irons.